Hi, I'm Judy Craig with Edina Realty, and today I get to talk with Paul Miller. He's my trusted accounting advisor with Business by Design. And one of the big topics that is swirling around with everyone is how are the new tax codes going to impact us in our home ownership? If I am trying to break this down for my clients, and they're just a homeowner, they work, and they don't have any investment properties, how does this impact them?
So the biggest thing, I think tax reform for most people that let's just say they're W-2 income, they own a home. The biggest difference probably here is going to be, do they have dependents or do they not?
Okay.
I think there's a group of people that with no dependents are going to be affected a little bit differently than ones with dependents. So dependents are viewed to be 17 and under. I know financially that obligation goes a little bit further than that, but
longer, yes.
but the reality is the IRS would view someone 17 and under. There's a new category that's available for them to get what's called a $2,000 child credit.
Okay.
So tax reform really does this. They take away some stuff, but they give people some stuff.
Okay.
What they took away was the ability to write off an individual personal exemption. So there was like a $4,000 deduction, $4,050 to be exact, per person. So a married couple could write off $8,100. A family of four could be, basically $16,200. That's gone now. So automatically, that client that you have, their taxable income is going to go higher this year because they're going to have no personal exemptions. To combat that, what they did in tax reform is they lowered some of the tax rates. So on the average, federal rates went down about 3%. All the brackets kind of dropped a little bit. Mm-hmm. But they also allowed people that have dependents, 17 and under, to get a $2,000 credit. Now a credit is different than a deduction. A credit is literally like the IRS writes you a check. So if I've got 3 kids, the IRS is going to pay me $6,000, and I know that I've got 3 kids and that's not enough to compensate me for them, but the IRS will write me a check for $6,000 for those 3 kids, where many people never got a child credit before.
Yeah, that's confusing to me, the credit versus the deduction.
So if I have a deduction based on my tax rate, that deduction might be worth, let's just say roughly a third of that, maybe $1,200 or $1,400. A credit is actually real money to you. It's like a check the IRS is writing.
But not recommending just go have some more kids.
No, not at all. Trust me, that does not come close to covering the cost. So, but if your incomes are $400 and under, most people will then fall in this category. They'll get this credit that they've never seen before.
Okay.
So if I'm a homeowner, I've got 2-3 kids or whatever, I'm going to probably come out pretty good when it comes to taxes. I'll come out ahead because I'll get this new credit that's available to me that wasn't before.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah, now if I'm in a situation where I'm an empty nester, now I lost my personal exemption, that might be a different story. My income's going to go up a tick. Maybe my taxes will be about the same. So that group who's like an empty nester is not going to see a significant change in their taxes as much as someone who has dependents or kids at 17 and under.
But their tax rate is going to be down a little bit from what it was before.
Correct. So their taxable income will go up a little bit. The tax rates have dropped, so it's kind of a wash. Okay. So the empty nester more than likely is probably going to be about the same.
Okay.
Whereas someone with dependents probably is going to find that they might have an extra maybe $200, $300, $400 per month.
Oh, really?
Difference. That can be significant when it comes to either debt reduction, acquiring a new home, or something like that.
All right. Well, if you're thinking about making some changes, I do recommend that you contact your accountant to find out how this impacts you. But if you have questions, feel free to give me a call, Judy Craig, Edina Realty, 651-303-1200.